Welcome back everyone to another Company of Fears 2 replaycast, and this time we're going to have a 4v4 as you can see on the Glaze, sent in by Strucklin. Where are you? Where are you, Strucklin? You are over here to the right playing as the Brits. His friend is also going to be playing as the Brits, Haywood Jablome. The other two buddies are going to be Joseph Stanley 26 as the Soviets. Looks interestingly like Joseph Stalin 26. And we have Mathis BT as the Americans, so a bit of touch of all of the allied factions. On the other side, we're going to have Panchazun 69, Daedalus 893 as the OKW, Troubled Skeleton also as the OKW, interestingly because, well, yesterday was Halloween, so Troubled Skeleton, and Grrr 33Z. Of course, it's supposed to be green trees. You are so cool playing as the OKW. Laglaze. Well, 2 Brits on Laglaze is going to be very annoying, but 3 OKW is going to be even more annoying. There's a lot of heavy cover on this map, a lot of places to turtle and camp, and so, of course, Brits and OKW are going to be pretty much in their element. And yeah, right now, Star Pioneer is going to face infantry sections, about what you expect. Infantry section is going to win, especially with the support of this MG40. No, not MG42. It's a Vickers. Sorry, it's the Brits. Just used to seeing MGs early from the Wehrmacht, just all. And yeah, other than that, we seem to have a bit of a decent position for the Germans in the center. I don't think they're going to be losing to the Soviets with that. However, the right goes to the Brits. On the left side, we're going to have Daedalus going up against the Americans. And again, the Americans pretty decent at the early game. But with all the buildings, if the Germans can use these correctly, then the riflemen aren't going to have as much of a chance against the Volksgrenadiers as they would normally. And right now, in fact, Daedalus is using that to his advantage and pushing up. In the right side, Cube Wagon has been built up by a Troubled Skeleton, and he's also going for a truck. But he's taking a lot of damage, especially because he's going up against the buildings at closer ranges. With the support of the Vickers from the church, the Brits and the Soviets are able to repel his forces and just kind of get themselves acquainted. We have a Raketenwerfer from Green Trees. I think this is definitely too early for a Raketenwerfer. Might have been expecting the Soviet player to go with a clown car, but he has gone with support weapons company, yeah. And so he has Maxims, and gonna have the mortar soon. I would definitely go for a mortar if I was him. Actually, on the right side, there's nothing, so Struckland basically can kind of set up his MGs, set up around the VP, and capture everything. He's not capturing the VP, which is a little bit of a shame, because I think he thinks that the Germans actually have left something there, which they haven't. And so he's going to be just kind of sitting there kind of uselessly, but he's building a mortar pit, and the mortar pit, of course, with advanced emplacement, he's going to be doing turtling business. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain if the Germans ever decide to go for the right side. Meantime, left-hand side completely goes over to Daedalus. So overall, it seems like we have a bit of a split. The right side goes to the Allies, the left side goes to the Axis, and the center is kind of contested by all the sides. And that's kind of what I expect. 2 battle group headquarters going up very, very close to each other from Green Trees and Troubled Skeleton may be a bit of a mistake. Because, well, they're going to be doing the same thing regardless. And yeah, let's take a look at the doctrines. We have Daedalus with Luftwaffe ground forces, so later on he's going to go for those Fallschirmjägers. Going to be quite useful at disrupting the rear lines of the Allies. We have elite troops from Panjazun. What has he been doing? He's actually been building fuel caches a lot, so the Germans coming in with an advantage when it comes to resources, although we also have some fuel caches from Haywood, so pretty even on that front. So he's going to go with Tiger Ace, of course, later on, but in the meantime, he's going to have the stun grenades and stormtroopers, also quite deadly for the rear attacks. Troubled Skeleton has also gone for breakthrough, so quite a lot of mid-game infantry, the Panzer Fusiliers plus the Jagdtiger late game. Always quite good. He's also gone for the Sturmofficer, which is an interesting choice. Looks like the Sturmofficer got killed and the guys retreated. So not the best first impression for the Sturmofficer from him. And Green Trees also going for breakthrough. So 2 breakthroughs. I see a lot of Jagdtigers. Of course, on Laglaze, And that is kind of what you'd expect. Lots of long range, especially on the left hand and right hand side. Stay away from the center with the Yak Tigers, but overall, other than that, you should be fine. And right now, ooh, nice flank coming in from Pancho. He's going to be burning that Maxim, but the Maxim just kind of survives. And the second engineer squad, yeah, it's not going to have an easy time. They're surrounded by full rifleman squad, which is, of course, quite strong. Mathis has gone for rifle company too, so he's going to be really spamming out those riflemen, waiting for the easy 8, possibly. And yeah, overall, just the swarm is coming through, and this is kind of the problem when you go for a lot of fuel caches like this. This is 200 manpower per fuel cache, so 400 manpower that Pancho expended on fuel caches. So when 280 times 4 manpower of riflemen come barreling down your neck, and you have no answers, well, yeah, that's when you know that building up that second fuel cache might have been a mistake. But of course, machine gun provides the support against the blob. I mean, this is kind of because Mathis tactically kind of blobbing didn't really work for him. So a bit of a micro mistake from him in managing his riflemen, but otherwise he was doing quite well there. Grenade, really now. So Haywood going for grenades early on and weapon racks. So he's going to be expending a lot of munitions. Interestingly, it seems like the Allies have a lot of munitions despite only having 1 munitions point. But that just kind of stems from their additional strategic points, it seems. Yeah, at least 2 strategic points on the Germans provides 10 more munitions and 6 more fuel. So a bit of a resource advantage for the Allies is going to be mitigated by his cube wagon. Looking at the Allied doctrines, of course, Strucklin is sim-citying it up. And yeah, he's just going to be... The problem is that he's sim-citying... Oh, he's going for SimCity, but he went AC instead of Bofors. Interesting double back, I guess you could say. So this is useful, actually, because his SimCity is positioned in a place where it isn't really doing all that much. The Germans aren't really coming in force on the right side. But since he went for the AC, he can actually support his allies on the left-hand side and the center. So that's going to be definitely a bit of a mitigation effort from Strucklin. And that's kind of okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's only an AC, but it still helps. And for other doctrines, we have Hollywood Jablome. Yes, Haywood Jablome not really picking anything. Then we have, Shock Army plus Rifle Company. So Shock Army, lots of infantry coming for the Allies. Shock Army with the shock troops and the 120mm mortar are going to be very useful in this kind of a static environment. But we have 2 PM41 82mm mortars coming in from our Soviet player, Joseph Stanley. So I'm not quite sure if another 150mm mortar is going to be quite the best decision for him. He's going for a T70 right now, which is a very good choice. And of course, the Papashas on the conscripts are pretty okay. And hold on, I need to do something. Oh, the fort. Okay, so the Papashas on the conscripts is going to be great. And right now, yeah, flak half-track, unfortunately for Troubled Skeleton, goes down. The AC is also probably going to go down if these Panzerfaust come through, but there was no munitions. Wait, what? How was there no munitions if you had 120? I just saw that the guy had no munitions to fire Panzerfaust, but he has 120 munitions. How's that possible? He possibly cancelled an upgrade? Yeah, he possibly cancelled the Sturm Pioneers upgrading the Panzerschrecks and the Volksgrenadiers upgrading the STGs. That would have been like, what, 150? No, a little bit too much. Probably he just cancelled the Panzerschreck upgrade to try to get a Panzerfaust off. He was a little bit too late because he was out of range, so that's kind of unfortunate. Sorry. Right now he's got a 3-inch mortar emplacement that's actually upgraded with the extra armor from the advanced emplacement. So Strucklin in a very good position to put pressure on the Germans on the right side, but the problem is there are no Germans on the right side. So this is kind of his dilemma, and it's kind of the SimCity dilemma as a whole. So not really the best thing. Yeah, right now the center is in the control of the Germans, but finally we see Mathis coming in with a lot of bars, so he's going to have a much higher anti-infantry DPS than he used to be. He's still going to be in a very vulnerable state to these machine guns, though. He needs to be much more careful with his riflemen. He's blobbing them up quite heavily, and that's kind of not the best possible option. Right now, as you can see, we have a bit of a blob coming in from the Germans as well, so Green Trees really... Oh, damn. That's not going to be nice. So Green Tree's huddling up around the battle group headquarters, but that's going to be fine because he's got his flak half-track holding up the center, almost wiping out an infantry squad from the Brits. And yeah, this flak half-track needs a little bit of support, however, so that's why the battle group headquarters is there, and it's in a good spot. Right now, Haywood is going for from a Cromwell, for a Cromwell from the tier 3. So he's going to be in a good position. He's got the company command post. And that's going to be fine. The problem is there's a lot of Raketenwerfers for the Germans. We have one pack 75mm, which is even better. Another Raketenwerfer and another Raketenwerfer. So it's going to be 4 AT guns right now. Oh, damn. That was a pretty decent mine. Pretty decent mine indeed. Dealing a little bit of damage to these riflemen. The problem is the Allies just seem to be a little bit all over the place, and the Germans can't really counter them everywhere. I mean, the MGs are doing fine for them, but it's not enough. They need a little bit of an extra assurance to control at least one VP, which is what they're doing right now with this flak half-track in the center. But all that needs to be done to destroy this flak half-track would have to be to pull in a infantry section with some Piats and pull them into this house from, you know, taking cover with the house, coming up, approaching unseen, and then getting in and blasting that thing to pieces. It can't be done right now because of the German control of this crossroads, so the Allies going to need to concentrate a little bit more on that. And right now, even Math is going for some fuel caches, which are right now going to get absolutely demolished by these Panzerschrecks. But decent choice. I mean, the Allies, as you can see, are really driving ahead when it comes to the resources game, and they're reaching their sort of tier 3 late games a little bit quicker than the Germans, which is of course quite nice for them. And interesting little choice from Joseph Stanley. He's building up some mines in the same place where the other mines exploded. And right now we have a Panzer II Lux from Daedalus, but that's definitely way too late. I mean, Panzer II Lux at 12 minutes, it's going to encounter quite a lot of counters. Of course, that's because Daedalus first went for a battle group headquarters and then went for a mechanized regiment, which kind of tells me that he's going for the KT. But right now, as you can see, his Lux is not having the best possible of times. I mean, the STKFZ flak half-track is trying to support against the infantry, but it's going to get eventually destroyed by the T-70. T-70 shielded by the smoke, actually, against the Raketenwerfer. Going to try to get in a flank, but it finally manages to go down. Due to the Raketenwerfer. Right now the Lux is still there, blasting away with the 20mm, doing quite a bit of damage to riflemen. However, actually no, the Cromwell is gonna... Oh no, it's an Easy 8. It's an Easy 8, gonna support... Looks like the AEC from Struckland went down. Plus there's another T-70 from Joseph Stanley. So a lot of Soviet and USF armor, and general Allied armor on the left-hand side, gonna provide... pretty much the support that the Allied infantry needs. The Raketenwerfer has been destroyed by, looks like, a machine gun, and it needs to absolutely be destroyed, not only when it comes to the crew, but also when it comes to the weapon, because if the Germans are able to recover this, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the behind for the Allies. And yeah, they're just going to let it fire, which is a bit of a problem. I mean, they needed to come in a little bit quicker and either steal it or destroy it. Right now, it looks like the infantry blob is going to be able to do just that, and right now these combat engineers can steal it. On the center, the Germans are still holding their positions. There's another Lux from Troubled Skeletons, so lots of late Luxes. And on the right side, we have a Firefly coming in from Struckland, which is going to be wasting its time with some Fallschirmjägers. Probably should just turn on that, prioritize vehicles, and send it to the front lines. Try to do some damage to either German buildings or German vehicles. This is definitely a little bit of an overkill at this 14-minute mark from Struckland. I mean, he doesn't really need to destroy any big German tanks right now. So perhaps going for a Cromwell might have been a better choice for him. Of course, he could have also gone ahead and upgraded with the hammer tactics and gone for the Comet. Or if he was particularly inclined to do so, he might have gone for Anvil and then tried to use the artillery, but I don't know. I think that Hammer Tactics might have been a better pick right now. Of course, he hasn't really picked any of those, so still a little bit up for grabs. Meantime, Stormtroopers just kind of pushing up and not really having the easiest of times because of the Sherman. 1,000 manpower in the bank for Mathis. He does have a Major. He probably should go for an ambulance at this point and just kind of plop down the ambulance right here or something. Just as he has a bit of a forward retreat point. Right now, these Stormtroopers are in a very, very bad spot. They're going to get absolutely plastered by that 76 millimeter cannon. If the shack goes down, then the squad also goes down with it. And that's exactly what they wanted to avoid, but what EZ8 wanted to happen, and there it goes. RIP Stormtroopers. That's a lot of manpower down the drain. 340 to be precise. Meantime, it looks like we have a bit of a push for the center from the Allies. I mean, we have Struckland's Sherman Firefly trying to put some pressure on the battle headquarters, it seems. However, the German forces in the center are kind of holding against the Brit push from Haywood. And also, here comes the Rakana River forcing away the Firefly. So not really anything coming out of that push that the Brits tried to push for. And right now, ooh, very good. White Phosphorus going to send all of the Sturm Pioneers packing. That's a lot of Sturm Pioneers, you know. And actually, Tulip rockets being used quite aggressively against the Flak Hattrick. That was a little bit of a overkill, in my opinion. And the Firefly goes down to the Rakana River. Very, very well played by the Rakana River. However, the Firefly gets abandoned, so there's still a chance for the Brits to recover this. And here comes some Commandos, actually. So Commando's going to deal with that Rakana River just nicely. Nice Gammon Bomb, destroying that, destroying the Rakana River crew, and then mortars coming in to finish off the building. In the meantime, the only thing that's going to save all of these Sturm Pioneers is the Sure Panzer headquarters. Otherwise, these Commandos might have just had the field trip of their lives, just having a nice target practice against those very, very low health Sturm Pioneers. Right now, we have 2 EZ8s on the field for Mathis. He's definitely going for that EZ8 spam, which can work very, very nicely for the Allies, especially on an open map like this. If we're going to see some Yag Tigers, those EZ8s are going to be excellent at flanking them. In the meantime, it looks like a Panzer IV is on the field, which is going to be a bad choice, in my opinion, for Pancho, because he knows that EZ8s are around, and EZ8s absolutely destroy Panzer IVs quite easily. He does have a Rakana River in support, which could work. However, looks like a Rifleman squad will be spotting the Rakana River. However, the EZ8s just kind of run into it anyway, and they're only saved by the fact that Rakana River is not on prioritized vehicles, so it wastes a shot on the infantry. Puma comes in from the flank from Daedalus. Not the best choice. Not the best choice at all. And as you can see, it does not really have the best of luck. And there's way too many heavy vehicles on the field for the Puma to be effective at this point. Even kind of shows its rear armor. It seems like the Puma actually outranges the Sherman EZ8s. Wow. I didn't know about that. Yeah, it outranges them. Yeah. So Puma using his basically only advantage to plink away at the EZ8s. As you can see, it's not even able to really do all that much against the frontal armor of that Sherman. And right now, with 2 EZ8s there, they're going to be able to absolutely demolish the Puma. However, one of the EZ8s might go down. Right now, he pops the smoke. Actually, no, it was the Puma that pops the smoke. It does not get a last finishing shot off with target ground. And also the Shermans don't really seem to use the target ground to their advantage. And this is kind of just a stall for the Sturm Pioneers. In the meantime, on the right side, we have the mortar pit still being around. And another Puma. What is with these Pumas? I have no idea. Another Puma plus a LAIG support gun. So finally, the Germans trying to come in with some kind of counter to the mortar pit. However, I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, we have advanced emplacements. So, of course, the repair shop coming in from the forward assembly. Another forward assembly going up just to get a little bit of extra automatrons to repair the 3-inch mortar emplacements. Plus, of course, we have the advanced armor from the advanced emplacements. So, not really going to be enough to bring in one support gun against that defensive emplacement. You really need to bring 2 or 3 to destroy it in time. And the Firefly on the field right now is going to prevent the Puma from really doing anything useful. However, the Puma is really supported well by some Sturm Pioneers with with the Panzerschrecks plus the Panzer Fusiliers. Sherman Franklin comes in and just kind of blasts away at the fuel cache. So Allies once again going to be reclaiming the fuel superiority. Right now we are even when it comes to munitions and slightly ahead for the Germans when it comes to fuel. But with this being destroyed, we're going to be coming back to a pretty much standstill when it comes to a resource game. So overall, the Germans still kind of enjoying an advantage when it comes to the late game because, yeah, the Germans with the late game, usually their armor is superior. But the problem is that the Allies seem to have a superiority when it comes to infantry and defensive emplacements. So, ooh, there goes another Rakennen Werfer. So if the Allies can capitalize on this, and ooh, a Stuka barrage coming in, doesn't really do any damage, which was very unfortunate actually for Trouble Skeleton because it wasn't really, I mean, it was aimed pretty well, so it's not like it was a targeting error. It was really just kind of RNG playing a part. And yeah, it looks like if the Germans can't really bring their, oh damn, propaganda war coming in. Yeah, there it goes. If the Germans can't really bring their forces together and try to get a nice push on one of these sides and kind of break the Allied defenses in one of these areas, then their infantry is really going to have a hard time pushing in, and their vehicles later on are also going to have a very hard time once we start to switch from mortar emplacements to 17-pounders. However, yeah, it seems like it's not going to happen, at least for now. We still have a very nice sort of conglomerate of Germans on the left-hand side. I mean, even stolen a Soviet mortar, another Soviet mortar. So 2 Soviet mortars being stolen, plus the Panzer Force being somehow still alive, plus the Pak-40. Yeah, this left-hand side with, of course, a half-track to actually support these support weapons, giving the the reinforcement ability to them. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good for the Germans if they can hold this. But with 2 T-34-76s from Joseph Stanley's free EZ-8s, I don't think we're gonna have a German defense holding up if all these tanks just kind of are thrown into this front line. You know, use as battering rams to destroy the German defenses. I don't think the Germans are really going to be able to defend themselves. We do have 4 Panzerschreck squads for Green Trees, but these are Sturmpioneers with Panzerschreck, so they only have 1 Panzerschreck per squad as opposed to the 2 for the Panzergrenadiers. And at the same time, as you can see, very nice usage of the L2 Sturmovik attacks from Joseph Stanley. He's got a lot of munitions in the bank, so he can just kind of pull in the Sturmovik strike and push them back as required. So right now, all the Allies need to do on this left-hand side is push in. They need to order their tanks to attack. That's all they need to do to win this side. I mean, the only problem is going to be this Pak-40. This Panzer IV, I mean, yeah, of course it's going to do quite well against the T-34-76s. Interesting waste of a Katyusha barrage, by the way. The Panzer IVs are going to do fine against the T-34-76s, but they're going to be very well outmatched by the EZ-8s. And, yeah, in the end, they're going to succumb. Their armor really isn't all that strong, and, yeah. Right now, a bit of a mistake once again from the Allies. They separate their infantry from their vehicles. Instead of pushing in as one unit, they kind of go in separately. And you send the infantry in from another direction than the tanks. Of course, Mathis kind of delayed pushing in with the EZ-8s, but finally does push in with the EZ-8s. Gets the kill on the AT gun, which is quite crucial. He's going to destroy this house with the stormtroopers still in it. So that's another squad wipe coming in. Then the Rakennen Werfer is kind of in a very well positioned location. So he's going to be able to get a lot of long-range shots in on these American tanks. We also have the Sherman Firefly coming in for Strucklin. Strucklin manages to get an excellent tulip rocket strike on this Panzer IV, but unfortunately the Allies earlier on had kind of wasted their armor push and gotten their tanks all kind of destroyed, so they can't actually capitalize on this very nice kill from the Firefly. Destroys the Panzer IV, however it is in very, very deep SHIT from this Rakennen Werfer. Of course, the Rakennen Werfer can't really chase down the Firefly as much as it would like to. We have a KT in the center from Green Trees, so he's not going for the Yak Tiger, he's going for the King Tiger. And that's going to be fine. Helping in to support the center. Right now, the Axis definitely needs a bit of to make a bit of a push here. In the meantime, on the right side, we have a Stuka plus a LEAG trying to work down the SimCity, but it's not really going to be doing anything. in the end, of course, Struckland's infantry has this position under control pretty much. And right now, MG34 is not going to be enough to hold back the Tommy Tide, and they're going to be able to push back at least the German infantry with the support of the mortar pit. And if the mortar pit can kind of disable this MG34, they're going to be able to push back the Germans all the way to their buildings. Center, we have the Germans pushing in and capturing some places. However, it seems like, yeah, this mortar pit is still doing quite well. It looks like an infantry squad tried to repair, but it didn't really have the best of successes. We have a land mattress coming in with some white phosphorus rockets. Interesting choice. It's doing a lot of damage. So this is the white phosphorus from the land mattress. I wonder if this one... I think this one does not kill. Yeah, as you can see, it does not kill, which is kind of unfortunate. Look at all these low health Sturm Pioneers. Very smartly decides to pull back on the other side of the battle recruiters so that he can get some healing up there and kind of stay out of range of this mortar pit. Because if the mortar pit had gotten in a couple shots into that blob, that would have been an absolute massacre. And in the meantime, oh damn, looks like I've missed the big tank push on the left-hand side. So the Allies, as predicted, managed to push in and capture these points. Looks like at least, yeah, the Panzer IV is still alive, so only the mortars... Well, actually, only the entirety of the German force, except the Panzer IV, has been destroyed. So overall, not the best possible situation to be in for them. And yeah, so the D-34-76s still really commanding the left-hand side along with the EZ-8s. If they can get themselves repaired, they're going to be able to make another grand push, and this time reach directly into the heart of the German defenses, aka the OKW structures that are holding up the left-hand side for Daedalus. So if those go down, then Daedalus is going to be out of the fight entirely. He's going for a Jagdpanzer IV in a desperate bid to try to hold back the steel tide of the Allies, which could work. I mean, if the Allies, once again, are very, very timid with their vehicles, if they don't push in aggressively enough and get a flank off on the Jagdpanzer, then they are going to be basically exposed to that 75mm cannon and eventually just eroded away. And oh, this is definitely a mistake. He went for a Stuka. What is it with these Stuka, purchasing Germans? I'm not sure what the obsession with this vehicle is right now. I mean, two Stukas, one on one side and one on the other side. This one is kind of understandable because we have Struckland coming in with his SimCity. Right now, he's also going to have a Churchill. So he's gone for the anvil tactics, and he's going to absolutely smash through this corridor of German troops and then go for the buildings, I'm guessing. Propaganda war going to slow him down just a little tiny bit, but he's got the forward assembly with the retreat point just right behind, so he's not going to really have a long distance to walk. Right now, the two Panzer IVs are trying to make a bit of a push. They make actually a beeline for a gap between the two players, so the EZ-8s and the T-34s, and they're going for the Katyusha. So that's definitely not the worst choice, but the Katyusha knows what is happening and retreats. Interestingly enough, Joseph Stanley retreats the Katyusha, but does not pull in the T-34-76s to support, I think because he's kind of waiting for them to be repaired. That's definitely a mistake. He's purchasing another T-34-76, and right now, Panzer IVs are kind of confused because they knew that the Katyusha was firing from this position, but when they get here and the Katyusha was evacuated all the way to the base, however, not far enough because the Panzer IVs aggressively and fearlessly push into the base, and they're going to be able to spot the Katyusha. No, they didn't spot the Katyusha. They're going to get some shots in on the base. They see the T-34-76, and they're going to be able to probably destroy this T-34-76 if they pause and fire on it enough. But the T-34-76 is pulling in a lot of damage on them as well with that 76mm gun. And another 76mm gun, this time a little bit more dangerous, is going to be the EZ-8. And the EZ-8 is going to chase down the Panzer IV like a dog and put it down like a very rabid dog. It's just kind of chasing the Katyusha. Finally sees the Katyusha. Yeah, it does see the Katyusha and tries to get a shot in, but unfortunately, as you can see, there's these buildings in the way, and the shot's gonna bounce on the building and not find its intended target. It's going to still try to make a great escape on the other side of the map, which isn't going to be the best of choices because there's a Sherman Firefly from Struckland. However, the Sherman Firefly is very low on HP, so if the Panzer IV gets lucky, in fact, it might even just be purposely going after the Firefly. It wastes a shot actually on the infantry, which was a bit of a mistake. Should have definitely popped that prioritized vehicles. Does manage to get a shot off on the Firefly, but the Firefly bounces So that was very lucky for the Firefly. And the Panzer IV is going to be eventually destroyed in a grand finish off of the chase from the Easy-8s. So right now, we have the Jagdpanzer IV. So that kind of Panzer IV big sort of drive-by did buy a little bit of time for Daedalus to go ahead and purchase his Jagdpanzer IV and get it positioned. However, with the KT and a Panther coming in the center and the right-hand side Triple Skeleton going for a Jagdtiger, yeah, that might have been worth it. However, losing those two Panzer IVs was still a little bit of a big mistake from Panzer. Very lucky there, almost hits a mine, and the third Panzer IV is going to be able to escape with the support of a pack. So we have 2 packs coming in from him. That's definitely good. However, yeah, this is really, really risky to pull in the Jagdpanzer IV with all these T-34s in the area. Right now, it seems like the T-34s are just being too timid. They need to push in and get behind the Jagdpanzer IV. At that point, it would be defenseless. However, they decide to retreat back to the corner of the map, which is going to be in the end of one of the T-34s. The other ones are kind of trapped. They're fish in a barrel, and the Jagdpanzer IV is going to have an easy line of sight to both of them. However, there's another T-34-76 on the side, which could be trying to push into the rear. The Panzer IV finally decides, oh hey, maybe I should come in and support my turretless buddy. And it's doing that quite nicely. There goes one of the T-34s. The second T-34 is in a very bad shape. It's probably going to get destroyed by the Panzerschrecks coming in here. However, the Jagdpanzer IV almost goes down, but all of the T-34s are put down and are going to litter the snow-ridden battlefield. So, bit of a mistake coming in from Joseph Stanley. Not aggressive enough. Using the T-34s basically as tank destroyers when they are medium tanks. Absolutely huge mistake. Going to cost his tank force entirely. And right now, yeah, we have a little bit of a face-off on the right side. So the Jagdtiger, of course, very, very strong. Destroys one of the Sherman Fireflies. The second Sherman Firefly is also having trouble. Very, very nicely using these Panzer Fusiliers as scouts. However, it seems like the Sherman Firefly is going to go down, even though the Panzer Fusiliers also die to get that kill, which is, of course, worth it, because the Sherman Firefly is a very, very valuable target. Churchill also not going to be at all adequate at taking out the Jagdtiger. However, the Axis infantry has been completely demolished by the Allied infantry plus the mortar pit. So overall, while the Jagdtiger was able to get a lot of damage off on the Allied tank force and get some victories, yeah, it seems like it's not going to be enough to actually push in and capture the right side VP. The VPs are still in the favor of the Allies, of course. And in the left-hand side, we have a huge rifleman blob, which is going to absolutely massacre all of the German troops. And right now, going to get even stronger from the addition of an MG34. Nicely dodging away that bundle grenade from the Panzer Fusiliers, not the Panzer Fusiliers, the Stormtroopers. And also drops a Panzerschreck. So overall, the Allied rifleman blob absolutely doing its job. We have 4 Easy-8s from Mathis, so he's really reached full freedom-making potential, full democracy exporting potential, and right now he's going to be really, really strong. I mean, if he can aggressively push in, again, this is the key, aggressively. He needs to be aggressive and get behind these vehicles. Right now, the Jagdpanzer IV is actually still repairing it with a damaged gun. There's going to be absolutely nothing that it can do to stop these Easy-8s. But the Easy-8s, once again, just kind of timidly push back. Right now, if the Easy-8s just charge into these buildings, they could just cause such havoc and destroy everything. But they're held back, which is a little bit of a huge mistake. Right now, actually, Haywood is pushing in the Firefly, firing that 17-pounder through the woods, and the Jagdtiger is kind of lumbers forward and is like, what is happening? Of course, it does not know. There's a triple cap right now on the field because of the nice push from Mathis. He was able to secure both the left-hand side and the center. Left-hand side was his left-hand side was his infantry, center with his officers. So he's going to be in a good spot to provide quite a lot of VP support to the Allies. Right now, the Allies, basically their best shot at winning is going to be to drain the Germans as much as possible and aggressively push in once again on one of these sides, trying to get a knockout blow on one of these players. Because the German weakness is that they're kind of, as you can see, split off 2 by 2. So there's two people on the left-hand side and 2 people on the right-hand side. with kind of green trees being the liaison between the two. And then, yeah, the problem is allies are much, much stronger on the left side than they are on the right-hand side. So if they can win separately on the left-hand side, then they're going to be in a good spot. And right now, oh my god, these medium tanks used like this are kind of just hurting me. But with 4 Easy-8s, it's going to be very hard for the Jagdpanzer IV, even when the Easy-8s aren't used at pretty much 100% capacity. They're not going to be, they're not going to have a lot of trouble against only one Jagdpanzer IV. Okay, so... Oh, Troubled Skeleton actually drops. What happened? He's lost to Jagdtiger. No, he didn't have a Jagdtiger. He did have a Jagdtiger. How did he lose his Jagdtiger? I have no idea. How is it possible? Well, wherever the Jagdtiger died, it left no corpse. So I have no idea where it died or how. But I'm guessing from the way these Fireflies are damaged that, yeah, 3 Fireflies versus 1 Jagdtiger with the Tulip Rockets. Yeah, Tulip Rockets are on cooldown right now for Haywood's Fireflies. So I'm guessing the Tulips absolutely demolished the Jagdtiger. And yeah, there's a Broom Bear on the field for Pancho. That's definitely a huge mistake. And yeah, this is kind of why. I mean, the Fireflies are going to hard counter that quite easily. And right now, the Easy-8s on the left-hand side are just going to plow through and not care about anything. 5 Easy-8s. This force can really just defeat the Axis on its own. Once again, a Jagdpanzer IV shows its face. If these Easy-8s were smart, they would just rush in and get behind the Jagdpanzer. There would be nothing that it could do except just kind of backpedal. And if it backpedals enough, well, then you've won, because we've got all this cover over here. So you could just get your Easy-8s back here, just destroy the Schurpanzer quarters, destroy the MG, destroy these support guns, and yeah, just have what you want without even having to fight the Jagdpanzer. Instead, interestingly enough, the Easy-8s pull back, and oh no, it's a trap. So the Jagdpanzer pulls forward, and what? Why don't you get behind the Jagdpanzer? Get behind the Jagdpanzer! What the hell? It can't fire behind it. Get behind it! Flank it! Do something! Don't just sit in the front. That's what it wants you to do. This is actually kind of aggravating. What are these Easy-8s doing? I have no idea. So the Easy-8s, due to sheer quantity, are going to be able to just kind of do a little bit of damage and retreat with their lives and their engines intact. However, if they had been just a little bit more aggressive, in fact, a lot more aggressive, they could have just plowed through and destroyed everything. I have no idea. In the meantime, on the right-hand side, huge push coming in from Green Trees. He's got a Jagdpanzer IV, a Panther, and a KT. Absolutely destroys a Sherman Firefly. Looks like, yeah, that was pretty much the entirety of Haywood's forces. I mean, he's still got one of the Sherman Fireflies up and running. It looks like Strucklin still has his Sherman Fireflies. So he's going to be able to come in from behind and kind of plug the hole, plug the gap that Firefly left. But yeah, overall, not going to be followed up correctly by the Germans, the push. I mean, he doesn't really have the forces to do that right now. Finally, Joseph Stanley has managed to rebuild his T-34 76s. But once again, he's making the mistake of just kind of sitting at range against German AT weapons, which are made to fight at range, made to plink away, use their superior range, superior accuracy, and superior penetration to their advantage, rather than the Allies who want to be up close and personal with the Germans. And as you can see, once he pushes in, it's a little bit too late because the Germans were forewarned of this, and they were able to bring in a lot of Panzerschrecks to support. So because of this, the T-34 goes down. Second T-34 goes down due to the Jagdpanzer IV kind of sitting in ambush and managing to get a nice shot in. Right now, the Allies are still going to have the huge advantage, and a lone commando is going to, literally a lone commando is going to capture the center. But overall, it's a 6th Easy-8 coming through. Overall, I mean, while the Allies are going to win, they're definitely kind of underutilizing their huge armor potential. They could have won this game quite a long time ago, considering the amount of armor that they have over the Germans. And right now, as you can see, instead of pushing in these Easy-8s, getting behind this Brumbear and destroying these two units, he's just kind of teetily-waddling around the point, which is actually a bad move, because this provides a little bit of line of sight. So the Germans actually had a warning that this was coming, so they were able to kind of turn around. Of course, it's still not enough because it's 6 Shermans. Of course, all of them have 50 caliber machine guns pintle mounted, so they're going to be able to easily destroy the Pak-40 even if they don't shoot their main gun at it, just with the fire of those machine guns. And now they're going to be chasing down the Brumbear and destroying it. The Green Tree's armored force tries to come in to support, but it makes a bit of a huge mistake and kind of turns its rear armor to the Fireflies. So the Fireflies destroy the Jagdpanzer IV, and they're going to be able to get a lot of shots in on this Königstiger, who is definitely caught between the frying pan and, I mean, he's caught between the frying pan and the frying pan at this point, with 2 Fireflies on one side and 6, or no, actually 5 Easy-8. The 6th one is approaching. Actually, no, there's not enough pop cap for it. So 6, but really 5 Easy-8s on one side and 2 Shermans, Fireflies on the other one. There goes also the Panther, and it's going to be GG. I mean, we're going to try to come in with the Jagdpanzer, says Daedalus, and the Allies say, nah. And, of course, Green Trees is, yeah. That's worthy of Cambridge English. So apparently his team sucks ass, although, you know. So apparently the Allies aren't exactly having the easiest of times. Oh, Commandos on the left-hand side against Stormtroopers. Who's going to win? Commandos. Even though I really dislike Infiltration Commandos, they're going to be definitely superior to Stormtroopers in a close quarters fight. And, hold on. Should really turn off Steam. Anyway, oh damn, this is gonna be great. This is what I love about Easy-8s and Freedom Company. It's just, when you get to the German buildings, when you get close to there, you can just kind of massacre them in that one fell swoop. That's what I love about the Americans. And right now, yeah, as you can see, Panzerschreck gonna get probably run over, maybe murdered by the 50 calibers. Yep, murdered by the 50 calibers. And there's another Jagdpanzer IV, which is going to destroy one of these Easy-8s, the Veterans Free one, in fact. But, as you can hear by the screaming OKW advisor, who's always very mad, they're down to 10 points, they're down to 5 points, they're down to 2 points. Triple cap, destroyed. So, overall, this match was definitely kind of signified by... Signified? No, that's not how English works. This match was definitely very much marked by the Allied unwillingness to use their huge armor swarms as they're supposed to be used, which is rush in, get behind them, flank, get close, destroy the enemy with your superior numbers rather than trying to fight them at long range, which is what they want. And yeah, this kind of dragged the match along unnecessarily for about 10 or 12 minutes more. What could the Germans have done more? Definitely a huge mistake from both. I don't remember if Green Trees also did it, but definitely Troubled Skeleton. Actually, no, let's just look. Units, construction. So Troubled Skeleton. Did you go for that? Yep. Pumas, Luxes. So 12-minute Lux, 15-minute Puma, 19 minutes to Kachifus, which on his side was actually kind of understandable. But then another Puma at 36 minutes, another Lux at 37. Of course, the Cube Wagon's the AI, so yeah. Green Trees, let's take a look at him. Green Trees, he's gone for some Jagdpanzer, so he's the one that kind of stayed away of that trap. Although, yeah, he's the one that kind of stayed away from it. Daedalus also with the Lukes at like 15 minutes or something. Maybe 12, 15. So Flak Half-Track, okay. 12-minute Lukes. 14-minute replacement Lukes. 17 minutes Puma. And then 23 minutes Stukatsfus, even though that was really worthless on the left-hand side. because he was facing mobile swarms. Yeah, so Daedalus and Triple Skeleton definitely overstepping their boundaries on light vehicles. Going in for light vehicles at 36 minutes like Troubled Skeleton did, not exactly the best choice, although maybe that was already the AI. Still, you want to be very, very conservative with your fuel whenever you're aiming for the big late game as the OKW. Of course, that's what we've seen, and of course that's what you should do on a map like Glaze with a 4v4. Should go for the Yak Panzer, you should go for the Yak Tiger, you should go for the KT and the Panthers, just to, especially with 2 Brits on the field, overmatch the allies with sheer quantity and quality of vehicles. However, because of all the fuel that they wasted along the way, they delayed their late game so much that in the end the allies were able to just kind of build up these huge swarms of tanks. And as you can see, even with their reservations about using them, they were able to, in the end, get a nice victory off because of their huge superiority that they had at the end. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you will join me again. As always, drop down a like if you did. Drop down a dislike if you didn't enjoy. I'll see you soon. Be nice.